with Wayne and Dylan Burns. Organic Dope. How you doing, fellas?
Good.
Doing good, man. How are you?
I'm phenomenal. Much better now that you guys are here, man. We see each other here and there for sure, but never get to really just hang out.
Yeah, not enough for sure.
Yeah, chit-chat. So what's going on? Wayne, how are you doing?
My physical therapist turned me loose for strength training last Friday, so I'm ready to start lifting. Just had shoulder surgery, so done with that.
You gonna get back on the table?
I'm the only person I'm gripping up with for quite a while is Dylan, because he won't hurt me.
Gotta worry about him hurting me is what really the deal is.
Yeah. Let me get you a little closer there. So, are you training with people that are a little too rough? Is that what's going on?
No, I'm recovering, and I don't want to grip up with somebody that's going to blow through me. I'm healing right.
Right.
You know, I did all the physical therapy, and I haven't hurt it, and I don't want to, you know. So
we seem to take it easy all the time, or practices, and not, I push for that a lot.
Yeah, well.
Yeah, man. I won't. If somebody starts practicing too hard with me, I'll quit practicing.
Yeah,
I won't.
It's not worth it.
No, I've got to be healthy to arm wrestle good at all, and if you're pulling too hard at practice, you beat up all the time.
I don't even like doing ready goes.
No,
people want to train them all the time. Like, you guys can. I mean, I'll do it for you, but I don't really want anything to do with it.
Yeah.
Well, we don't ever train them. Like, I train them at tournaments.
Yeah. Yeah.
Train them in your mind.
And it hurts.
Yeah. I don't ever hit in a practice. Never.
No.
Mm-mm. No.
See, and that should go to show you that you don't have to practice it to dominate with it, right? Because that's one thing you got as a hit.
Yeah,
that's for
like
sure.
I say, that's one of those things everybody always asks me. They're like, how do you practice that? And I swear on it, I don't ever hit in practice. I mean, never. That's like I tell Dad, I get excited for tournaments and stuff because I get to go hit. I mean, I think that's a big reason why I don't ever stop in a match, because I'm just so excited to hit on a go.
Do you train it? Do you still train a hit without being on the table? Like, is there anything you do?
In your mind.
That's it?
In your mind.
Just go. But
People-
nothing on, like, bands or, like Mosier, constant bands.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
Pop, pop. Nothing.
Different people do different things.
Yeah.
I think
I was telling Dad earlier, like I'm a field service technician on forklifts, so I just work on forklifts, but I got my own service vehicle and I drive around and stuff. Well, sometimes I get a lot of road time, and I'll be sitting there going through it in my mind, just every scenario they could.
Mhm.
I mean, I'll even have the grip up, you know what I mean? But I do that a little bit, but nothing.
It's like a
to face.
visualization thing,
Yeah.
right? There's a lot
Yeah.
to that. That's mental. And
Yeah.
that's what you just do, right? Hit-wise. So nothing.
Yeah, I mean, really, I think that is 95 or 98% of my hit. I think it's being able to because it hurts like hell if you get stopped, or
Yeah.
it hurts bad, and it's hard to let yourself do that when you know it's gonna hurt. You know what I mean? But you got to be able to commit to it.
I think that's a big difference. Is there? I think there's a small window where the really elite arm wrestlers with the great hits, and some of the others that aren't as fast. It's just the willingness to commit to that hit going through the pad.
Mm-hmm.
And if you'll think about it, you arm wrestle, and
It's hard to do. Even you go like that halfway, and you almost want to stop because you weren't.
Yeah.
You're almost like,
I guess
I
that's
want to go,
part of
but.
the mindset, because I mean, break my arm, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. Like, I don't ever train it. I feel like I have decent timing, so there's times where it might
Yeah.
look like I'm fast, and I
Yeah.
am not explosive at all.
Yeah.
I just feel like I'm paying attention to what's going on,
Mm-hmm.
but I do not ever do ready goes in practice.
Yeah, no. Like I say, we don't either.
Unless it's
Good
like a
waiting
king
for
of the
somebody to
table
get
thing,
hurt.
and
Yeah.
even then, I'm usually going first.
Yeah, I can't.
So,
I bet you I trained pretty hard for I took a little time off after Joe Grelick's tournament in Minnesota, and I trained really hard for probably or not really hard, but I trained for 3 months probably up to this, and I've probably done one time, you know what I mean, ready goes, king of the table or anything like that. I don't ever practice it. It hurts me. I'm beat up from tournaments for weeks after. It's crazy.
mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel like I was extremely beat up from that super match setup. when I had a match with Jason Coleman.
Yeah.
I'm still not right from it.
Yeah.
I'm still not the same, and that was Halloween.
Yeah, that's been a minute.
Right?
Yeah.
And it's still, like, my elbow's still not right. I think in a normal situation, you don't put as much into it. And in that super match situation, there's just
It's a whole different deal.
it's a little more on the line almost.
Yeah,
I don't know
it
what it
turn-
is.
it
I
turns it
wanted
up.
that a little more.
Yeah, it turns it up for sure.
But rewatching it, I can see why I'm hurting. It's like, yeah, I was a little committed to the
Yeah, I
side
wasn't letting
out.
you go for nothing.
Yeah.
Super match in a bracket is so different. It can be a lot different. It can be the same, but you got to train for one person. A super match in a bracket, you don't know. It's luck of the draw sometimes. You know, if you blow through everybody, it's not so much, but you can't plan that way. You got to have some stamina too.
Might not always be luck of the draw, but there's always a
One of those beers.
luck of the draw.
Sure.
It's a big part of it for sure.
Oh,
Yeah.
definitely. Yeah.
Yeah.
We were just talking about that earlier. You
Right.
know, like, I mean, there can.
76 division at Illinois State tomorrow, right?
Yeah, man. Hopefully, some of them guys that are tough draw each other first round, and I get them second. Nah, I'm just kidding. I want them first.
Quick anyway. Yeah, I think Roman, Corey Miller. I mean, that's always exciting.
Oh yeah.
Throw in
Allen.
Dylan Burns in the mix, Greg
Greg
Allen,
Allen.
Zach Hayden.
Yeah,
Yeah.
hopefully I can get in the mix with those guys. That's unseen yet. Them guys are some bad dudes. I'm just excited to get in there and see how I do with them. I can't wait.
Yeah, you can surprise some guys. And you're only weighing 140 pounds now, right? Getting
Yeah.
ready to do nationals?
Yep.
What'd
yep.
you weigh this morning?
I was, well, this afternoon before we left, I was 135.8. But like I didn't eat lunch because we had to hurry.
Yeah. So that's what, Kansas City, right? June,
April.
April.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
June
it's
is IFA.
late April.
That's right.
Yep.
So, yeah, late April. That's the USAF. That's a qualifier. Do you have to win? You have to take top two?
I think it's top two. Go and you qualify for WAF.
And you're going to go and just pull the 138
Well, I don't know.
or 32.
Yeah, it's 132, but I don't know. I actually messaged Simon Barachoa because I think he's over it all. I messaged him the other day asking if I had to make like 32 to qualify. Like, if I could pull 143 and then cut to 132 at Worlds, that's what I'm going to do.
You should be able to.
Yeah,
right?
but
Depends on if there's two people at 132 that qualify, then you wouldn't be able to.
Yeah, I don't know how that works, so I just wanted to double check with him because I definitely want to pull 132 at Worlds. So if I have to, then I'll make it.
Probably want to pull that at Nationals if I had to guess.
Yeah, but like I say,
Probably be good for a test cut.
yeah. Well, I know like my weight's on. Like it'd be,
sure.
I'm
No problem.
super high.
And you're you used to be a wrestler, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
weight cutting's
Yeah, it's pretty.
it's
easy
kinda in the
for
blood,
me.
right?
Yeah, it's pretty easy for me.
He's
But
5 pounds over the day before he's good.
yeah,
Oh, yeah.
that's water.
yeah,
Right.
like I say, I mean, I'm a hydrated 130. You know,
Yeah, it's so
I'm
crazy, man.
hydrated where I'm at.
That's so crazy.
Yeah, me and Dad
Especially
were talking
for how
about I just took off some of the excess weight, I think. You know what I mean? I just leaned back out. But
started doing something.
yeah,
in some
started
work.
working out a little bit, you
Yeah.
know.
It really doesn't take much, does it, to keep it going?
No.
It's real easy to get lazy, though. And then
Yeah, it is. It is. See, this is the weight I was walking around at right after high school, I got into fighting a little bit. And I was in, like, the best shape ever. But, you know, I was cut up kind of because I was competing at, you know, weight classes. And this is the same weight I was there. And I feel good.
So tell me about that.
I just
Where'd
had...
you fight at? Did you do, like, just some amateur fights, like MMA or
yeah.
boxing? Or
Yeah, I had a K1 bout when I was, like, 17, which was 2-round kickboxing and then 1-round jiu-jitsu. But we had to
in the same fight?
Yeah, it was a weird deal.
That's
I
fucked
was
up.
17, so they had us wear kick pads and the bigger gloves and headgear. But that was in Osage Beach. Who put that on? Howard's?
And then you just took that off for the third round?
No, I got a TKO second round. I TKO'd him.
That's what they would have done, though? And then you just
Yeah,
take
and
it
then
off?
we'd have took him off and we'd have
It's
grappled
weird.
for 1 round. Yeah,
Never heard of that.
yeah.
But you
But
whooped them before then.
yeah, it was TKO in the second round. And then when I was probably... When did I fight, actually, in my first MMA fight?
3 years ago?
I was
4 years
Oh, this
ago,
is
maybe?
recent.
No, it was right before I started arm wrestling.
Really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I was probably like, I would say 19 or 20 whenever I took my first fight, and I took an MMA fight in El Dorado, and I won by first round verbal submission. I was beating him up, and he was like, "I'm done." So
It's
it
like a
was
ground and pound thing.
yeah, and then I had a kickboxing match after that in Sullivan, and I won it first round. He didn't come back out for the second.
So you're an undefeated fighter.
Yeah, undefeated, but I didn't have a very long record, so
Well, that's
not
good.
much to speak
You
on.
don't have brain damage either, so
Yeah,
It
yeah.
works
That's
out.
debatable.
Man, I'm not gonna lie though. That's really where my passion was. But it was where we live at. You know, it's kind of tough because we're kind of in a rural area, and I was having to drive, you know, like an hour one way to train. And you know, I was training every single day. I mean, because in that sport, you've got to live it to do good. You know, and who wants to go in front of a crowd and get beat up? So you know, I was training hard, and it was just one of those deals where I had too much going on and working 12 hours a day, couldn't do it, and
I'm surprised you can't. Like, it's such a big sport now. It
It
almost
is.
seems like there's somewhere to
Really,
train
yeah.
everywhere.
To have been
Yeah.
at the level he's satisfied with,
Right.
he would have had to move.
Oh,
Yeah.
for sure. There's people that go
Yeah.
all over the place
yeah.
just to get.
And like I say, I was getting married, and I'd already started my life there, so I had to kind of slow down on it, you know, and why half-ass do it, you know. So I just
So then you jumped in just then to arm wrestling. Why? How did? Okay, so you're world champion from what? You was 91 in Israel, right?
Yeah, I won. When I got into it, WPAA, the to-go stuff, it was the tournament to go to back in the '80s, and then it kind of migrated to AAA with the Beams when she bought it from O'Leary, and then WAF. But I mean, I won twice in the WPAA, and then AAA, and then a couple times in WAF.
So you were in it your whole life. He's obviously around it.
Your whole life.
Yeah, my whole life. For a long time.
Yeah.
So you got into it in what?
Mid '80s.
Mid 80s.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
your whole life too.
no. See, I wasn't ever around it. His last Worlds was in 2000.
Oh, so then you just kind of got away from the sport.
Yeah. Yeah. I just.
Just
I mean,
got
I
done
was
with
still winning, you know, but I just.
it wasn't that big a deal, so you
No.
weren't around it. So that makes more sense. I was thinking, well, why does it take you
Aaron-
until you're 20 to get in arm
my
wrestling?
older son Aaron, he was around it some. He went to Finland with me in 2000 on the USA team. He got the guy that won, I think, was a Russian, and the guy that got second was a Canadian, and that was his two losses. Those two people.
And he still pulls a little, right? He pulled
no,
in
he's
Illinois.
not pulling much
Nah,
anymore.
he pulled Illinois a couple years ago, and
Yeah,
He
so I
could.
take that back.
he could.
Not just Greg Allen. Greg Allen and him got the hit on Roman.
Yeah.
Because he got the hit on him too.
yeah, he almost flashed Roman.
Yep.
Yeah, he
and then
almost
he caught him.
did.
So there was two people that
I'm
were
telling
faster.
you what, he's a lot of wasted talent. My bigger brother, man, if he would work hard if he would even think about working hard, he would be a bad dude. But he has no work ethic towards it. He don't care.
So where'd you get that?
Dad, I got that from my dad for sure.
But you didn't give it to him. You just pick and choose, or they just pick and choose?
It's up to them.
It's up
you
to
know.
them.
I think it's a lot in mindset. I don't know. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, back when he was doing it, when he was a teenager, I mean, he drilled Travis Badge into the pad at the Nationals in Maryville, Illinois. Travis slipped in a losing position and got him a strap, and he lost it. But it was like he woke him up. you know.
Travis actually told me that story in Kansas City. That was funny.
Yeah, he had a hit. He had a hit. Kind of runs in the family, I guess.
But no, that's why I didn't get into it till so much older. You know, I just had never been around it.
So what pushed you in it then?
Man, I'm one of them people, like, I have to compete at something or I'm a retard. I'll get in trouble. And it was getting to that point, you know what I mean? Like I was drinking way too much beer, you know, I was just kind of being ignorant, and I was kind of like, and I was just like, I just love to compete. I've always competed ever since I was 8 years old. I started wrestling, and I mean, and I've always been in sports. You know, wrestling's one of those where you're the only person you can blame when you lose, just like arm wrestling. And I don't really care much for team sports and stuff like that. You know, I like the individual stuff, and it was one of those things where I could get into, and I had a training partner right down the road. You know, I just live 5 minutes from him, so I was like, man, I'll give this a try. And then, you know, I practiced a little bit with him and stuff, and I couldn't touch him. And then I went to a tournament, and I got beat up by Brad Spine, Matt Borden, all them guys at your tournament. Actually, your tournament was my first real tournament ever.
That Strongest Badge 2?
Yep, I think so. Yeah, and I went up there, and I got beat up really bad, and I went home with my tail tucked between my legs, and I was like, man, I can't take that. I got to get better. And I just,
Yeah, but those are some nasty dudes, though.
yeah, but I don't think that way. I
Right.
don't care who I lose to at what weight class. It bothers me really, really bad.
So, did you have any involvement in him getting into arm wrestling at all, or you just picked it up and then, oh, well, yeah, Dad, I guess, used to do that, so I'll go ahead and do it now?
Well, I picked it up, and then I'm like him, you know. Whenever he arm wrestled, that's all he done. You know what I mean? Like he ate, slept, drank. You know, like that's all he thought about. And I'm the same way, you know. So I was beating his door down. You know, like, hey, show me, like getting him on the table and sitting there and hitting a wall for hours on hours. I mean,
So he gave you the mindset.
yeah.
That started when he was 8. When wrestling.
But, I mean, that's probably where you got it, right? Because when you won the Worlds in 91, you won everything else that year, too, didn't you?
That year, in 91, it's the only year I know of, they had a stand-up national in Houston, Texas, and a sit-down national in Atlanta. And then Worlds in Israel in 91 was sit-down. And I won all 3. You know,
You didn't lose a match, did you?
no.
Not even on fouls.
No, John Hanowski, he said, I didn't lose one match, all 3 tournaments. I said, yeah, you did. You fouled out in Houston. He said, damn it. He was a good dude, man. He's my buddy.
Man, that was back. That's a long
91.
time. There's a lot of guys still pulling from there, though, right? They're just
Yeah,
a
Chad
lot bigger,
Silvers
most
was
of
on
them.
our team. Les Wims, George Wims, Cobra, Doug Stutz.
Wasn't Toulier around your weight back then when he tiny like that?
Tule was always one under me. Now, he came to Missouri, sat down, state 1 year at my weight. And then I went to Baton Rouge to Louisiana State. I don't know if it was stand up or sit down. But other than that, I don't remember competing against him. He was usually
But he was just at your weight, like around that weight class, though,
yeah,
right?
he pulled 32s when I pulled 43s. When I bumped up to 54s, he went to 43s.
Did they used to have all those weight classes at most like state tournaments and stuff?
No.
No.
That's why we competed against each other at Missouri State and
Okay.
Louisiana, I believe.
Yeah, okay.
But,
Did you beat him?
yeah.
How do you think you'd do if you would have bulked up to 195 like Toulier?
I don't think that's possible for me. And I wouldn't want to pull him now.
Oh my God, that guy's a freaking tank.
Right?
Yeah.
Some of those guys. It's not the only one, right? I mean,
Well,
Barboza back in those days was he
When I
was
met
in the
Craig,
200s,
he was
right?
coming with Robert Redden from New Orleans.
How old was he when he was that weight?
They were teenagers.
Man, that's
teenager.
crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was just his evolution. That's why he got so much bigger. He was just so young when he got in it, sounds like.
Yeah.
So back then it was a lot different too, right? So the knowledge wasn't the same as it is now, where it's spread as easy. You didn't have the internet, so where did you
Yeah.
learn? Where did you learn your arm wrestling, or did you just go pull?
My first tournament, they had a pro arm wrestling tournament in Jefferson City, Missouri, and I went and I lost like my 3rd round to some guy out of Des Moines, I believe. And there were a couple of guys, the one heavyweight, one light heavy. They had arm wrestled before, and they got me off to the side, and you know, something as simple as just staying with my hand. And I came back and won it, and they invited me and my brother up and we went up, and I learned more technique. I went to WPAA Nationals in Cherry Hill, New Jersey. Jim Mitchell was the head rep for Steve Simons then, who ran the WPA, and he lived in Springfield. So I went up to the Illinois State Tournament and got my ass handed to me by Jack Sanders, who beat me 7 times between there and 91. I met him at the Houston National Stand-Ups, and I beat him, and he never beat me again. But he was a handful. Good guy, Jack Sanders. But Jim taught me a lot, and then I took it anywhere I could get it, you know.
There's a lot of the guys, especially the old school guys, are still secretive about a lot of things, aren't they?
Jim
Where
Mitchell,
they don't want to
on the
teach.
to-go stuff, Jim Mitchell was probably the most informed person I knew or know. The one-go, it's a little different. There's more stuff in the straps, you know, and setups, which Dylan's taught me a lot. Because as I've gotten weaker, I've had to change a little bit, which, you know, whatever. I just want to be able to be healthy enough to pull with him, you know. I don't worry about competing anymore.
Yeah, you've done that, right? Like, what do you have to prove?
Yeah.
You can't. Can you? I mean, I guess going to the top again, and
I can still have fun with it, but to take it as serious as you need to, I'm not sure I want to. I'm not sure at this point.
So, how old are you, Wayne?
I'll be 60. I don't know. I'm born in 58. I'll be 64, 65 in April.
Okay, so that's senior grandmasters.
You're
Right.
pretty
Yeah,
old
they
when
have
you
one
can't
higher
remember
than
how
that.
old you are.
Well, that's. I'm getting there then.
I'll remember that.
I mean, how many senior grandmasters though are really putting in that kind of work? Are they? Like,
I
do
don't
you
know.
think at the world level those guys are still like doing what you think is world level preparation? Because I think personally that your level of preparation is probably a little higher than
Well, I
the
mean,
normal guys anyway.
I can't answer that. I
the
don't-
way I think is yes, if they're confident enough to qualify and spend the money to go to Worlds, like they're probably busting their ass. You know what I mean?
No, and I understand that,
Yeah.
right? They're going to train.
But
But it's not
at
the same type
but
of
at
training.
But what I'm saying though is like him, like once he heals up a little bit, like I know how he feels on the table. You know what I mean? And I don't see how any other man his age could be as strong as what he is. Like it's unreal. But like I say, I mean, him just coming off this surgery and stuff, he hasn't had a chance to see how much he'll
None.
regain.
No,
you know what
I
I mean?
have none. I don't know.
So
I'm
he's-
getting ready to start that part.
Right. And that's
I've done everything correct up until now. You know. So.
Our goal is to get him healthy, and then I'd say if he gets healthy, he might just hop in there and start whacking some people.
We pulled Missouri State, I think, after on a side table, I think. Shit, I don't have nothing for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard. He asked me, "Do you think you could beat this?" You know, I can't. I don't know because it's now. It's not then. You know, so I don't know. But you know, it's just hard to compete now with the same heart as I competed with then.
Do you think it's a different sport now?
No, it's not just that.
Different era,
could be
in the
different-
sense of-
it could be a different Wayne. You know.
Yeah. Bro, what he's saying
Yeah.
is like we're one of those people, like we're absolutely maniacs when it comes to losing.
Mhm.
Like that's just something like I mean it really like it deeply bothers me like way like I don't know any other way. It's the worst thing that could happen to me is losing. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And like we pretty hard on ourselves. You know what I mean? So him now, you know, where you know if he had pulled somebody 30 years ago, he wouldn't even have felt him, and then they beat him now because he's 65 years old almost, you know what I mean? Like, it bothers him still, you know, so it's hard for
I
him to
remember
compete.
nationals.
That makes it hard to compete.
I actually
Yeah, I mean, it
remember.
would.
I remember nationals where I didn't warm up. My first match at the nationals, I'd warm up on them, and that's not being cocky. I mean, you can ask any of the people that pooled. I just warmed up on them, and I just had fun. You know, I mean, I knew who was there, who I had to watch, and
Mm-hmm.
you know, I mean, just as it is today. You know who you've got to watch, who you don't. But that's part of the fun of it, how I can stay in the sport because we do it together, you know. And we study things, and we come up with things, and we hit on things. You know?
When I talk about like the eras of the arm wrestling, I think like like NBA.
Mm-hmm.
They
Yeah.
talk about like, oh, back in my, in our era, you couldn't have handled this, right?
Skyhook,
LeBron couldn't
yeah.
have done this back in, and then even Jordan, you go back a step
Sure.
back, or in boxing, you got the eras
Yeah,
of.
like Ali.
Do you think that's changed in this, or is it
Yeah,
pretty
it's
consistent?
evolved. I see grips that I didn't. Before I got into it, they were doing the low hand more. Then they went to the high knuckle top roll. Some people are dump wristing now. There's more technique in the straps. Or there's just it's evolved a lot.
A lot more counterplay. Right?
It's all offense and defense.
Mhm.
That's why when he started, said the first thing you're going to learn is, first of all, Dad doesn't know everything. You learn it where you can find it. If it's the same result and it's easier, bring it home, teach it to me. And also, be able to hook, be able to top roll, be in the strap, sideways, everything. Be well-rounded because everybody's got a weakness. If you're stronger there, take them there.
Yeah, you got to find it, right?
Yeah. Well, that's what your eyes are for.
That's what Brzezinski was so good at.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's
what do
And
everything.
that's
where
what any high level.
We
guys
work
do.
together.
I mean,
We work together. We watch people, and usually he has a game plan, and then he expands on it when he grips up with them. They'll show him things in the grip, so he's well-rounded. So
Oh, for sure. And not every high level guy. You got like Bajent,
yeah, you got some people
one
that
thing,
do
right?
One thing. Yeah,
Michael Todd
yeah.
can do other things, but he sticks to his
Yeah,
one
I
move at
mean,
the high level, right?
Yeah.
the elite pullers.
The one elite puller that I can think of that I've noticed just do one thing is like Dan Mosier. You know what I mean? I've never seen him do anything different ever. I've seen Travis pull different before, but like I've never seen Dan pull different, which he's so strong there. You know what I mean? He beats everybody. He took second at the Zalati. Like there's nothing to down. I mean, if it works, it works. But
Well, speed
Some of the-
wins,
yeah.
right? I mean, you
Some
guys
of
know
the
that.
elite-
oh yeah.
Some of the elite pullers, like Cobra, leaps out in my mind because I always thought, you get him in a hook, you might have him. And I saw him take Rick Tippett, who won the national stand-ups at 243s, dump him in a hook, and beat him outside the same day. Cobra was the man, I mean, he everybody knows him, but I think he's still underrated.
And he still dabbles a little bit, right?
Yeah, he was at Michigan State. I saw him. Yeah, he's a good guy. He's my buddy. We about got kicked out of Israel.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
What happened?
I can't talk about that.
That's statute of limitations, isn't it? 30 years ago at this
I
point?
just put it this way: I've got a picture of him standing on top of some building, shooting me the moon. So, I don't remember exactly. But,
That's
yeah,
funny.
we had a lot of fun.
I bet a lot of those world's trips can get
Oh man, it's fun. Yeah.
pretty crazy.
I bet. I'm excited to try. Hopefully, go on one this year.
Right? That's why I was getting into reffing, so I could get over there, too.
Oh hell.
Well, man, it is a lot of fun, and I mean, the only thing that concerns me is the travel restrictions and stuff like that. I
Yeah,
wish they get that ironed out. So,
Yeah, good luck. I don't know if it's going
Yeah.
back.
yeah, I know.
Hey, man, let me grab that out from under you.
Oh, am I stretching you?
Yeah, you're
Sorry,
good.
man.
You're good. Yeah, I hate all that stuff, but like I say, I really, really want to go to Worlds this year. So if I can at all be there, I will.
And that's what's going to be cool. It's going to be in Turkey, and I don't know what year that England lived in Missouri, but I had 5 or 6 guys off the Turkish team in my basement at one time. I mean, that's pretty cool.
That is.
But
They just had it in Turkey a few years ago, didn't they?
I don't know. It's supposed to be there next year, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it's supposed to be there this year. Yeah.
Okay, so you go to nationals
year,
in
yeah.
April.
Mm-hmm.
You qualify. You go to Turkey.
And then I think Turkey is in October, if I'm not mistaken. Don't
It's
hold me to
usually
that,
in
but
October, November.
yeah.
Okay. Then you win that. Then, would you pull IFA then, or do you stick it out? Is there like?
I really don't know, man. Honestly, it's one of those deals where like, if I go to WAF and win, it would definitely be a lot easier to make the switch. But I mean, like them guys are tough over there.
Yeah,
You know,
and
so,
that's
I
still
mean,
the.
Yeah, I mean,
That's
like,
it, right?
like I said, I mean, that's
is.
where I absolutely love Denise and Leonard and all of them. You know what I mean? Like, I have nothing against them. I would love to go pull there too, but I can't, and I think it's bullshit. But right now, I think WAF still has the toughest guys. You know what I mean? Like, and I don't want to. I want to go. That's where I want to go. You know what I mean? For right now, but
Yeah.
like I say,
Europe is the place to go right now to mix it up with the best.
I think it'll be interesting to see where
I just
the
I just think it's crazy that any of us arm wrestlers should have to think about this. Why can't we just go arm wrestle?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like what
Yeah.
what the
Absolutely.
hell? Like why
and
can't
I think
we
if you ask any arm wrestler that's you'll get the same answer.
yeah.
I think it'll be interesting to see how IFA does when it's in Europe, because they're France next
Yeah.
year.
I agree.
So
Yeah,
when
I
it
agree.
goes back to a normal structure, you know, where they're
Things
not
evolve.
saying,
Things evolve.
"Hey, it's all American" or
I
whatnot.
definitely think it's going IFA because IFA is leaving their doors open. You're not banned if you go pull WAF.
Mhm.
I mean, I think the other competitors are finally going to get mad and be like, "Hey, piss on this." But I mean, I think as of right now, the better countries are still there. You know.
Yeah, and there's a lot of them, right?
Mhm.
And they can get to it.
Yeah.
It's easier to travel over
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, in Israel you had the Georgians, the Russians. I mean, you had a lot. I mean,
Yeah,
oh,
Georgia just produces arm wrestlers, right? I mean, that's just
you
Man,
know,
I tell you,
I'll be honest.
Kazakhstan's crazy now too.
right.
I'll be honest with you. In '91, at in Israel, USA team won it. I think the Canadians came in second, maybe. But you know how it is now. I mean, you know, work ethic has a lot to do with it. No matter what the incentive or whatever. I mean, you know, they put in the work, so there you go. You know, at that time I made it my job. I mean, I had my word. I got a job doing flat work concrete to work my hand, so I made a living practicing arm wrestling. That's what I did. I wanted
Did
to
that
be
on
the
purpose?
best.
Like, I'm going to go
Yes.
get this job
Yes.
because it's going to help me in arm wrestling?
Absolutely. That's what I did. I wanted to win.
Well, it
Absolutely.
works, right? And that was,
It worked for me. Yeah.
it's the secret. Just work. Nobody does that anymore, though, right? I mean,
you got to commit or all in or all out. That's the way we look at it.
I don't see how anybody could want to arm wrestle if they didn't do it fully, though. You know what I mean? Because like it hurts so bad.
I do. But
No,
I mean, do
like
that.
you fully arm wrestle though, to where you're not hurting yourself. Like I know some guys that like they come to practice once a month. You know what I mean? And they never go to a tournament ever. Like I could never do that. There's no way.
No, I'm twice a week. I practice twice a week.
Yeah. See, I mean,
I'm getting to the point where I might not compete. I'm going to these damn tournaments, and I'm not sure. My elbow's still trashed.
Oh,
So, I mean,
you
I
gotta
can
get in
pull,
there.
but then I get there, and it's like I'm not.
Yeah.
Not sure
You
if I'm
hurt before every big
100%.
tournament.
Yeah, but it's a different kind of.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a side pressure thing, right? Where if I don't have,
On the
And-
inside of your elbow. On the inside of it.
it's the outside now. It
Really?
was the inside, but yeah, now I'm getting this weird
I've never
outside.
hurt-
Like,
I've arm wrestled. I've never hurt on the outside of my elbow.
no, this is the first
never on
time.
my
Too.
bicep. I guess I was blessed.
It's
with
always
not
right
having a lot
here.
of pain.
Yeah,
This
he
is the
was-
first time
was
now.
one
It's
of
like
those-
shooting here.
He's one of those. He didn't hurt at all. He could go pull a tough tournament and then the next day do the same thing again.
Yeah.
I am the complete
But
opposite.
your matches didn't last. You just smashed them real quick.
Andy Fuller, the old heads will remember Andy Fuller. You know, don't have to say anymore. Andy Fuller is Andy Fuller. He won the Nationals. I think he was supers. And in the after pools, wherever we did it, I went in the after pools, and he was smacking everybody, you know. And I said, "Okay, Andy, okay, you know." And I got up there. I couldn't move him, you know. And I said, "Okay, just let me hit you." I hit him, and so I think about 20 minutes later, I drove him to the pad. But no way I could beat him in a match. But it's just I just had stamina. I could go forever. You know.
That was a sit down?
No, that was stand up. Yeah, that was stand up. But
Because that's a big difference, right? I've never pulled sit down in a tournament.
sit down tournaments are different. Dylan would do fine sit down.
I've only been on a set down table like once in my life though, and it's
But
really awkward. for
certain
me.
people, like my kid, sit down. He's going to be a force if he ever gets in one. I've never told him that. Mike, sit down.
He's a force anywhere.
Yeah, he is. He's a good guy.
Great guy.
Mike West.
No,
Mike
Mike
Hitt.
Hitt.
I
Mike-
know, but
yeah,
Mike
yeah.
West would probably be good at
Oh yeah. Yeah,
sit
Mike
down
West.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
that style.
Yeah. The super match you had,
Kevin.
Kevin Palco,
Oh, Palco.
sat down.
Yeah.
He'd be a force. Yeah.
Seems
they
like set
pull
down
that
it more
way.
goes inside. It seems like.
Or side, which there's not a lot of people hit side, more inside, whatever. But that's underappreciated side hit, but whatever. Everybody their own.
Yeah, side pressure trumps everything, right? I mean,
Not everything. I mean, if
Yeah.
they beat your hand while you're going side, they're going to beat you. But there's a lot of things. But side pressure is underused, underappreciated.
it's hard to train because you get hurt.
It hurts.
Yeah,
it
you
hurts.
get hurt.
But it never hurt me. I don't know.
Mhm.
I don't know that my side pressures ever hurt me.
Yeah. I don't know.
I don't know. What would hurt your? What's that deal in there called? Your brachialis, branchialis? Well, I'm not a
Yeah,
doctor,
I don't ever get pain there.
There's something there that I went to the doctor one time because I thought I broke my arm. Like it was that bad, and it was just a muscle. I felt like I was such a wuss when I left there.
Well,
but
there's things that cause that other than arm wrestling. So,
It was probably arm wrestling.
yeah, it's probably
It was definitely arm wrestling.
it is probably arm wrestling.
Definitely arm wrestling.
Did you do any fighting when you were young?
No, never.
No?
I don't believe in violence.
Oh.
No.
Because it does seem like there are a lot of fighters end up in
Yeah,
arm wrestling.
no,
a lot of people on
yeah,
his team that
I-
used to fight. You say you dumped in it.
Yeah.
You were a wrestler,
No,
but you got into it.
Never. No.
Nope, just arm wrestling.
Yeah.
He wrestled in high school for a year.
Yeah, I wrestled 1 year. But
Yep. That's how I kind of got into it. He had told me
Yeah.
about it and stuff. That's
Yeah.
how I got into wrestling. But no, he wrestled and stuff, and he was always real athletic. And I mean, you got to think about it, with his back the way it is. He's been like that since a young age too. I mean, he does everything with his upper body. Like, I mean, he uses.
I was blessed and cursed, I guess.
He was blessed for arm wrestling. Definitely made his upper body a lot stronger. The way he has to do everything.
And what's the deal with that? Was there?
I've got a back disease. I've had arthritis. I had juvenile arthritis when I was 8. I'd get to where I couldn't walk at times. My mom and dad had to carry me around. But, I'd also have periods, where I'd go a year, no pain, But when I was in my early 20s, I developed some lower back pain, and I had a back disease, and it starts and fuses your whole back, but the middle of my shoulder blades all the way down, I'm all solid. In '89, I developed some lower back pain, and they had to go in, and I had a crack in my lower back, so they had to do a bone graft and put steel rods in and stuff. But before '89, I was a lot more bent over than I am now.
I thought about that. There was a clip that I want to say Mike West had put it up from an old tournament back with you were
Well,
there.
Yeah.
Oh, Indiana
I-
State.
Yeah, Mike
No,
West
that-
was in
that-
it. It was,
I'd already had my surgery then.
Had you?
Yeah.
well, I was thinking like, okay, this is like it was 25 years ago. The video was
There were
90s,
some in
right?
Evansville.
and he's still like, he looked like you getting up there now. I'm like, you're still hobbling kind of up to the.
Yeah.
Thinking, wait, it's 30 years ago. Like, you
Yeah.
know, you ain't that old.
Yeah. No, his
So
back's
I-
been like that for a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you say it was worse then than it is now.
Before '89, I was way bent over. I couldn't straighten up.
Yeah, I don't think it was then. I want to say it was 90s, the video.
When I
probably.
met Pat Barry, that was before my surgery. And I actually used to have on video where there was a tournament at the Cat and Fiddle, wherever that bar is. Pat Berry was there, but I won my class and the next class up, and I had my back broke at that time. 'Cause I was in a lot of pain.
You just didn't know it, or you didn't know?
I didn't know it. I knew the pain was there, but I didn't know it was broke.
Still winning.
I won $50 off Pat beating Rick Snyder. Yeah.
Rick Snyder.
Yeah, he's always fierce at the table. Good man. Good man. Good friend. Yeah.
That's the one great thing about arm wrestling, though. There's like a very select few people I've ever met that I didn't like. I mean, like, everybody's great. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
It really is its own community.
Which is weird for how many different kinds of people there are,
Yeah.
right? Like, there's some characters, and
Yes,
there's
there
like
are.
And a lot of
every different
testosterone.
type of person.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, if he's up, I'm gonna grab some ice. Straight back here, I'm gonna help him grab
All
ice.
right.
Leave you all by yourself. Dylan.
Yeah, I'm
Did you find
gonna go.
he's good.
I'll follow him in. I gotta pee too real quick. He said I couldn't hold it.
We're gonna take just the one little break, and we'll be back. And we're back. Sorry about that. Just a little 2 and 2, right?
That's right.
Word from the sponsors.
You know, we got them well in hand now.
Is it OBs? Is that the place?
Yeah, they were for a while.
Yeah.
They were for a while.
Take care of you.
Looking for some new ones now, actually.
Yeah,
If anybody's
shouldn't be
out
hard for you to get them.
there. I know. I'm pretty bad at that though. I hate asking people for money. But yeah, man, it's expensive going to all these tournaments and stuff.
Yeah, if you ask the right people, a little bit of money's not a lot of money.
I mean, especially Dylan. You know, he's had people really interested. And it's more of a market for stuff like that than it was back in the day when you didn't have internet, no exposure.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, you had Jerry Janning, Vice Grip sponsored him, but other than that, what was the benefit of them sponsoring anybody? You know, now you have more exposure and you can get that. That's the upside to it. You know.
So that favors the guy with the exposure, right? So.
Well, I mean, even anybody like tomorrow. You can Google anybody that was in that tournament, and you can pull up the video on that after a while, you know. So you can, you know, you can get out there more, you know, and that's a good thing, you know, as far as exposure. People can scout you better, you know, but if they're that good, let them scout, you know.
I mean, that seems to be where arm wrestling's going now, right? Exposure.
That's what I'm.
Exposure wins.
I believe so. And marketing, you know, and that's where. And I don't want to speak for him, but I know this is the way he thinks. You know, we're humble people. We don't do this for what you think of us or what you think about us. We do it because we like to do it. We want to win. We don't say we're going to win. We say we want to win, and we do what it takes and whatever. But we're humble. We're not calling anybody out. We're not down on anybody. You know, we let our talk at the table. You know.
Yeah, that's what's really tough about this era of arm wrestling for me, because I'm terrible at marketing myself, because I feel like anytime I get on Facebook, then, you know, to market yourself, you kind of got to be an asshole from time to time.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And then you don't want to do that.
Yeah,
So.
that's
Well,
not me. You know what I mean? Like I'm not that guy that's gonna get online and mouth.
He's
like,
more of a
arm wrestle. Like that's if that's what we're talking about. Let's
he's
do
more
it,
of a
you know?
natural that way than I am. You know, he's kind of a natural asshole. You know, but
You got to be an asshole to survive, I think.
Yeah, but
There's some, just being truthful sometimes, just being honest. People take it as being an asshole sometimes.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
It's it's just honesty, man. Just take it, deal with it,
That's
thicken
black-
up a little bit,
yeah.
right?
black and white, no shades of gray.
Yeah.
That's why like I was telling you just a second ago, I literally do not get on social media on my phone anymore. I probably have 10 unopened text messages right now. Like I don't look at nothing. I just never get on it. I mean,
And I think that hurts a little bit, like say last year when your build up, right? And there was times where you're like, man, I should be higher than this, and you know, I'm not getting the credit.
yeah.
And I'm not saying that that's why you weren't up there or anything, but the exposure again helps when people see it. It's talked about, like
Yeah.
it just
Well,
shows
exactly.
the matches.
And also, we see it more because, especially me, because I've been like removed from it. I've seen the progress he's made, and anybody out there can look. He's never took one super match he was supposed to win. In my mind, I don't know which one it was, if you were.
I mean, I think
Hey, what's your super match records? Was your first one hit?
Yep.
Yeah, so I wore this shirt actually
My man.
because of that, right? This was your coming out party, right?
It
Like
was.
this was when
Yeah.
Dylan Burns
Yeah, he wasn't
was
supposed to win
recognized
that.
as
He wasn't supposed to win
I'll
that.
never ever forget that whole scenario. Yeah, you called me or messaged me. You're like, "Hey man, John Jennings isn't going to be able to make it. You know, would you like to step in and take it?" And I was like, "Yeah, I mean, I'll pull him. You know, because like I couldn't say no to pulling my kit. You know what I mean?"
the opportunities there.
Yeah,
right?
and you're like, "Well, you got back and you're like, well, he doesn't want to do it unless it's for $300. Well, like I knew who Mike Hitt was, but I didn't know much about him, so I called Brian Kerner and I'm like, Brian, like Brian knows everybody in arm wrestling. And I'm like, Brian, what do you think about a match with me and Mike Hitt? He's like, dude, you don't have a chance. And I literally,
that does it.
I
I'll take it.
I literally like pretty much like I don't even know
I'm
if
in.
I said much
Yeah.
to him. I just hung up the phone and I was like, and I didn't have nobody to put the money up or anything, and like there's been times where I've hurt money and that was one of them. I was like, man, I'll spend my last 300 if I have to. I don't care, And I put the money up. And come up there and tried it, and I didn't even know if I was supposed to be on the same table as him. And
According to everybody else, you weren't.
yeah, no, and nobody told me I could win that match. I don't think there was anybody in the room that thought I could.
I don't know. I had your back. If you were to see, and I'm not wanting to put out conversations with people, but if you were to see my conversation
Yeah,
with Mike, I had your back.
my man.
Because he was, he didn't want it at first just because he was looking for, like,
He's looking
if
up.
spine, he didn't want spine because he
and
wasn't
you can't blame
100%.
him.
Yeah, no,
You know?
I don't blame him. That was actually a really bad match for him to take.
Yeah.
I mean, like because, like I say, I hadn't never done nothing.
You
and
had
then-
nothing to lose.
Yeah, I had nothing to lose. He had, he had everything to lose there. I was a nobody coming in to try to do
for sure.
something.
Yeah.
He comes in for the money, and I mean, it probably helped because he took you light.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Because he didn't want to take it for that, and even after that tournament, he came up. He's like, "Hey man, you were right. I took him light."
Yeah, and he
because I
told me
told him I was like, "Man, do not sleep on this kid."
Yeah,
He told
yeah.
me the same thing. And before we go any further, my kid is class. He is.
Great guy.
I mean, he's
Amazing.
one of my kids. I mean, he's a good guy. And he told me, he said, "I'm going home with my tail between my legs." He said, "I took him lightly." He said, "I would like to know if you give me a rematch." And I said, "Sure," And trust me, I wasn't being cocky. I said, "Mike, this is the weakest version of him you'll ever see."
Right. It's only
Because
gonna get
I
better.
knew what he was doing. And if you'll look at all his matches, he's still getting better.
And then how much of that too is just a boost in itself, right? The fact that, like you said, I don't even know if I'm supposed to be on the table with this guy.
Yeah.
Well, you got off the table realizing I'm supposed to be on the table with this guy,
Yeah.
right? Now all of a sudden you going up to anybody else, right? Don't you have a different? Wait, I belong here a little more, and I think that jump for a lot of guys is that I gotta go pull Wayne Burns.
Yeah,
I'm screwed. You lost before you got to the table.
But he
See,
doesn't respect that in people.
See, that's one thing like about me that I can honestly say. Even whenever I was my first tournament ever, when I was going up there to arm wrestle Brad Spine, and I thought I was gonna win. I mean, like I really thought I was gonna win, and realistically, I had no chance. But I don't know if it's like a mental blockage or something. I go up there to win no matter who I'm arm wrestling, and if if they beat me, it's because they beat me. Nobody's getting in my head before the match. Like that's.
Is that something that just came recently, or that was from the beginning?
No, I mean it's something that's been it's something I feel like that's in competing. Just being a good competitor at anything.
But for arm wrestling specific.
I mean, like, I think the biggest thing with it in arm wrestling is it's just shown more here because I've had so many years to practice it through wrestling and fighting and everything else,
Everything coming together.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like now I can, and I used to beat myself mentally where now I'm strong there, you know what I mean?
You ever look back at some of the old matches and just think, oh, man, I was horrible.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
Look at me.
All
What
the
the hell
time,
am I
all
doing?
the time. All the time. Like, what was I even thinking there?
Right?
Yeah.
And even then, you were probably like a lot better than before. Thinking, oh, I'm coming in so
Oh,
improved.
yeah, oh,
Then
yeah.
You always look back like, oh, man,
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
terrible.
Yeah.
Well, when I first started training him, as much as I've ever trained him, I showed him how to grip up the way I do. That doesn't work for him.
You guys got a lot different hand size, right?
Sure.
You got pretty
Yeah.
big hands, don't
Sure.
you?
His hands are way bigger than
Yeah,
mine.
your hands not
And
that
so gripping up the way I do didn't work for him. So he had to adjust that on his own. Once he did, it actually helped him practice with me because my hand was bigger. I mean, what is harder for you, someone with a bigger hand or a smaller hand? Usually a bigger hand
hand, for
person's
sure.
going to do you a fit. So, that's why I'm excited about him going down to 132. his hand's going to be normal sized or to bigger.
Oh, and you're so used to pulling bigger
Yes,
guys.
yeah.
Yes.
Like, what are they
Yeah.
going to do? They
Yeah.
can't. There's no way.
Yeah.
And like tomorrow, he's pulling 176s. Well, that's bumping up 40 pounds, but he doesn't look at it that way. And
Nah,
if they beat him, they beat
he's
him,
competitive.
but he wants to see where he's at. There's nothing wrong with that.
I'm one of those. And I think another thing is you can't be scared to lose. I'm not scared to lose to anybody. As long as I show up and I perform the best I can on that day, then I'm happy with myself. I still hate to lose. Like, I'm still going to beat myself up bad, but at least I know that I done my best and I just got beat because I did something wrong. I've got something to work on,
Mm-hmm.
But
See, I think I have that same mentality as far as, like, I want to win. I'm going to do the best I can
Yeah.
at this
That's
moment.
all you can do.
However, I don't have that same work ethic mentality as far as I'm gonna, because you saw it. I got a gym right there,
Yeah.
right? Like, I should be training every day. I
Mhm.
pull twice a week. I do that, and I limit it in order to be able to maintain that.
yeah.
But I should be out there in between that working.
Yeah.
And that's
I don't do anything else, right?
that- you know
Those
that-
things got dust on them.
Yeah,
that's the difference between arm wrestlers and elite
Yeah.
arm
That's
wrestlers.
that's the tough part right there. I mean, it's hard.
It
It's
is.
hard to stay
And-
motivated, especially if you don't go to a tournament for a while. You kind of lose a little interest, And like I say, I'm not much on social media, so I don't see it there. You know what I mean? Like,
Mhm.
I see it when I go to a tournament.
And sitting here now, that's why, if you ask me, are you going to get back on there and compete against their guy? I'm not going to commit to doing that because I know what it takes to do that.
Mm-hmm. You won't just jump up and pull on the table.
I don't want to do that. No.
Mm-hmm.
No. That's what I was doing before my surgery. I don't want to do that anymore. If I'm going to do that, I'm going to trash my arm with him practicing.
Yeah, and that's what I got to. I'm not even sure if I'm going to pull tomorrow just because of where my arm's at. I want to keep training, and I may,
Yeah.
but I don't know if I'm at the level to even give it a good enough go. I mean, obviously, I'm not going to win the 76s.
Yeah.
I'm not going to make 76 either tomorrow, but I would pull masters if I did.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I don't know. I'd rather just
Yeah.
train.
I mean, it's just one of those deals where it's whatever it's worth to you as an
Exactly.
individual.
Right, and I
that's-
know for some reason I just know I'm not going to be that top guy.
Sure.
Yeah, and that's a decision that everybody makes with themselves. Some people, I know some guys that come over just long enough to where they beat people in the bars. You know what I mean? Like, and then when they get to that level, they're fine. They're done. As long as they can do that, they're happy, and that's fine. But then
Yeah, I
you
want to
got-
get better.
It's
still,
up to
I don't
the
think I've
individual.
plateaued yet. I
Yeah,
do feel like I'm still learning and getting
Oh yeah,
better.
yeah. You definitely are. I mean, you've come a long ways. I mean,
I feel like I'm teaching better. So
Yeah.
I see more stuff. So I feel like the guys around me are getting really good. And there's people with a lot higher ceilings that I don't have. I'm old and got, I
Teaching
just,
isn't for everybody. Trust me.
yeah, it's
yeah,
tough.
he's a terrible coach.
Yeah.
I mean,
Really?
no, I mean, I
Oh,
swear.
really? Yeah,
No,
I'll
I
admit
swear.
it.
Like, I can learn off of him, but like most people can't. Like
Is
he's,
it the old school mentality or secretive?
I
You
don't
don't. You
know.
just
I'm
don't
kind
want to
of a
give
prick.
away your tricks.
No, it's not
kind of
that.
a
It's
prick.
just he's a very impatient person. So like,
You don't get it right away.
yeah,
I can do it.
and I'm just so used to learning off of him that way. Like me and him, our practices would be like 2 hours of us on the table, not going this far,
Mhm.
but just hand controlled in different grips, and never say a word to each other. But I mean, I got the most out of them practices I've ever got. Because I felt it,
And the guys
that's
that-
how I learned.
The guys that we practice with, other than us two, love those guys, and I'll help them any way I can. But I'm not the best teacher in the world at all.
Yeah,
you know,
I
'cause
get on to him sometimes. They'll be like, "Now, what was you saying about this? What the hell don't you get about it?" I'm like, "Dad, you're an ass. Quit." And he don't mean to be. It's just the way he comes off.
I love it, man. I get along with assholes. I like the directness because I just want to know.
Yeah.
It's not going to bother me. I'd rather hear the truth
Yeah,
than you
Anybody asks
bullshitting
me
me.
a question, don't ask me if you don't want the truth.
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I don't like to beat. There ain't no need to beat around the bush. Just tell me, And
Right.
like I said, me and him, we also have a really good relationship as well. He's not just my dad; he's my best friend too. So, I mean, it's not one of those father-son relationships where he tells me to do something and I second guess.
Yes,
it.
sir.
No, and it's not that either. It's I trust him I know he's on my side. If he tells me to do something, it's because he thinks it's going to work. And
Right. You're not questioning the reasoning
I'm not
behind
questioning the reasoning. You know, he's done as good in the sport as he did for a reason. You know what I mean? So
Like
I'm going to go
2 or
off
3
what he
weeks
says.
ago, arms in a sling, and he's practicing with a friend of ours in the living room, you know, and the guy's got a certain move, and he's countering. I said, try this, and he went ahead and trusted me. He tried it. He didn't think it was going to work, and it's perfect.
Oh, it added something big to my arsenal. You know what I mean? And like I say, whenever he first said it, first instinct was like everybody else, like, oh, I know what I'm doing here. You know what I mean? Like, no, but you can't be that way. You got to be an open mind, you know. And if he tells me to do something, I do it. I at least try it. What's the worst gonna happen? It not work?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But he thinks for himself too, and that's something you don't learn. You either got it or you don't. You know, there's a lot of people sit back and wait for people to tell them what to do. Man, you gotta use any tool you've got, whether it's after pulling, getting with somebody that knows more, whatever you have to do to get better. You can't let your pride get in the way of it.
People that skip the after pulls, man.
Oh, them. Which see,
They
I'm
can
not,
be a benefit.
So much knowledge.
They can be a benefit, and they can be not, because you know, if you're just in there as a punching bag, if you're there for the right reason, yes. A lot of these guys are young and they just want to beat the old head, you know.
Yeah.
If they just stop and just kind of let them kind of point you in a direction, but you know, and those people aren't going to. I'm not going to waste my time on those guys. Go beat up somebody else, you know.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but that's what's cool about the sport.
I'm pretty bad about after pulling. I'll really hurt myself. And he always tries to get me to not after pull at all because I'll hurt myself. It's bad. I can't be
You
around.
just keep going.
I just can't be around an arm wrestling table and not arm wrestle. I mean,
And he also
what you mean.
can't pull well if he's hurt. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, if I'm beat up at all, it's weird. Like the levels that I'll go down. Like if I'm beat up at all, it's,
you know,
I
the
can't
losses
wrestle.
that stick in my mind are losses that he took when he wasn't ready to be on the table. You know, but
Like when he was younger, or
it just
Anytime.
period. You know, I'm not going to elaborate on that. But you know, I mean,
Yeah.
there's
I won't say no names or nothing because a loss is a loss, and
Yes,
any time
absolutely.
I ever put my elbow on
Absolutely.
the table and I lose, it's 100% legit, and they beat me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I would never take away from anybody that's beaten
Yeah.
me. But I've pulled.
even if they elbow fouled and it wasn't called or
No.
something.
No, you
I
gotta
don't.
take it
I
out of the
don't.
ref's hands,
I don't
you
even.
know.
That's not an excuse to me. There's no
No.
excuse. If everything's the way it's supposed to be, I should be strong enough to win no matter what.
Well, it's a good thing you said that. I wanted to play something. We'll see if.
What was I crying about a call or something?
Yeah, I don't know.
I
I
pro-
just
I
wanted
pro-
to see what you thought about the match itself, I guess.
I probably was crying about a call because I definitely do that in the heat of the moment. But at the end of the day, you should be strong enough to take it out of any
You
hands.
cry quite a bit, you know. But now you got to take it out of the ref's hands. You know, just be strong enough.
Remember this
anywhere you
one?
I do remember that one. I remember you spanking
looks
my
like you-
butt.
Looks like you lost the
kicked your
hand there.
ass.
I
don't-
did lose the hand.
Bill kicked
Oh
your
man,
ass.
so,
He did
he's up.
too.
Oh,
Oh my gosh!
He's trying to
look
go.
At how
He just can't get that
horrible I
hand
am.
back. I don't.
Bill kicked your ass.
He did
Oh.
too. Look at how
Look, he
horrible
can't-
I'm
he
pulling.
just can't get
Open
that
it
back.
up.
Oh, there it
Open
is.
Got
it
your
up.
hand.
Oh my!
Bill, get
Oh.
up with your hand.
Shit, I don't.
Spanked
So
my
what-
butt.
Yeah.
What
You're
happened
still
there? What
feeling
was the
it.
problem?
You showed up that day and whooped my ass. That's what happened there.
I need a
I'll
copy.
never let him live that
We
one
need
down.
a copy. Of that.
Hey, post that everywhere. I don't care a bit.
All I want is when you win that Worlds, if anybody ever does a little side interview and they're like, is there one guy that you just don't want to arm wrestle? I'm going to be like, honestly, it's Bill Schumer. You know?
I got
Wicked
you. I
Bill.
got you. At some point, I will say that. Is
Wicked
there
Bill.
anybody you're worried
Yeah, I
about
mean, I
in
don't
this
know.
tournament?
He-
Bill Schumer.
He
Wicked
just snatched my hand up. I couldn't
That's
do nothing.
right. That's right.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
Now, that was, I believe, 2017.
17.
Right. I was pretty new.
No,
It was like
what
your-
year was? It would have been later than that. Because what year was that tournament? The second one.
2018.
Okay, so then
It was probably 2018 because I had that
it
shirt
was,
on.
Yeah, it was right around then.
Yeah, but
I
it
was
couldn't have been
new.
much later than that because
Yeah.
it was like your second tournament, or
Yeah,
you had
it
just
was so
started.
Yeah,
far
it
you
was. I was
came.
real new. Yeah,
You came in early 5 years.
yeah. So I've been
Yeah.
arm wrestling.
So
for
that's
almost
how
5
far he's come, right? Number 2
Yeah.
in the country.
Yeah.
Not long ago, Bill Schumer was waxing
Yeah.
him.
That's
at
right,
Brewskis,
man.
you know?
Hey, that shows you where you can be. Come on, Bill, let's see it.
No, it shows you where I can't be if it says anything, right?
Oh
Like,
no.
where that level is.
We work on a lot of different things, you know, and I don't know what other people work on, so I don't know that ours
Right.
is any different than anybody else's. But
I
we're
still
seeing
want to make it
results.
down. I would
We're
love
seeing
to train
results.
with you guys, especially now that I hear you do stuff just in the middle.
Oh yeah, you're more than welcome down anytime,
Yeah.
buddy.
I remember it's after Strongest Badge 1, I was sitting and talking with Pat Barry after the event, and he was talking about what you said of just kind of hand fighting for
Yeah.
control in the middle. Like, you're not going off center.
Yeah.
You're just fighting, and we kind of did it there for a couple minutes, and it felt like an hour, you know, and you're like, oh,
Well,
okay.
that's
Yeah.
like a lot of refs. You know, they're straightening you up, and they got you straight here, but you're not straight. They're straight.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's something as simple as that. You know, but
One of the biggest things I see too is people that practice out of the rule set. You know, like they want to start just this much carved in or
yeah.
something like that. And see, that's the thing. If you get used to practicing that way, that's where you're going to have to be at to be strong.
Mhm.
I'm always right here when I'm practicing. That way, I always feel comfortable no matter what, you know.
I agree. I try to tell people you set
Yeah.
up comfortable and
Yes.
straight so you can go.
started
Yes.
hooked in.
No, because
how
what
you gonna
happens?
You're gonna feel like you're bent
They
back.
tell them to go back, and then, well, he started me with my wrist back. Well, that's because you were going
Yeah.
forward.
Yeah.
They're not gonna tell you when you
100%
back
right.
too far.
100%
One
right.
one thing that a lot of people don't pay attention to is this. You
Yep.
know, the
Mm-hmm.
coming in, you know, the carving in part of it. You know,
Yeah.
I don't even care about this as much as I do this, you know.
Yep.
Like with my kid, you let him start here, you're in a hook no matter how good your top roll is, you know. I mean, he's got a good hand.
It's harder to catch that too.
Yeah.
That little
As
inside,
a
like it's
ref,
down.
yeah.
Oh
As a
yeah, it's
ref.
definitely tough as a ref because
As
the
a
people
ref,
that are
you've
good
got
at
to
it, they're
look,
slick.
but you've also got to feel, you know, and
Dustin Hyatt's real good at that.
Yeah,
there's
You can see him getting in.
there's- yeah.
I'll tell you what, that dude right there,
Brent
he is
Rockers.
strong. Oh yeah, Brent. He's
Yeah,
good
you
too.
think? Yeah, yeah, but you know what? It's up to the ref to make sure.
Well,
that
no,
it's-
and I mean, you've got to be strong enough to do it too.
Do it
It's not
right.
that
No,
too. If
that's
I'm
right.
strong enough to keep my hand here to where you
Yeah.
can't carve me in, then I
Yeah.
can stop it. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Like, it's on
Yep,
the arm wrestler just as
absolutely.
much as the refs. I mean,
Yeah, it's part of the game.
Yep.
right?
yeah, oh, absolutely.
Yep, that's a big part of it.
Yep.
Take whatever you can get.
Yeah, there's so many different aspects to it that, you know,
Oh yeah.
somebody can beat this guy, not beat this guy, doesn't match
That's the
up.
whole,
you know?
That's the whole key, is to be well-rounded enough
Mhm.
to exploit their weakness instead of.
And being
just
able to
rely on
figure
your
out
strength.
those weaknesses, right,
Oh,
is
sure,
the thing. You got to get
sure.
on the table and figure it out.
Yeah,
So.
that's what's so fun to it about me.
Yeah, it's
Or
tricky.
like that's what's the fun part is to me is when you get up there and you do it perfect. You gauge
Mhm.
somebody perfect the first time you pull them. Like that's the thrill to me. I love that.
That's what makes it hard for me, like tomorrow, to not pull, even if I'm not. It's train. I'm not pulling to win the little medal.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm pulling to train anyway, and that's
Mm-hmm.
my train ready go, right? You train your trickiness. Can I outsmart this guy?
Yes, yes.
You know?
Yeah.
So it's hard to not do that. So it'll almost depend on, like, if somebody's there, you know, like, if Ryan Musser shows up, I want that one back because he got me in that Rivals match. So if there's a way that, oh, maybe I can get that. But then it's like,
While
you know, if
you're-
I'm 70%, do I want it? I'm like, yeah, I
Yeah.
fucking do.
Like I say, man, I'm one of those where like
I want it back.
if I say I'm going to a tournament, or like if I plan on going to a tournament, like I'm gonna be ready for that tournament, or as ready as I can be.
You're
And
training
like,
specifically for that
yes,
tournament.
Yes, like I've got to have something in my sights. I don't just do pop-ups out of nowhere.
So does that come from, like, wrestling and fighting where you have, like, a training camp? Do you kind of do it like a camp?
Not really.
Where you're trying to
I mean,
peak?
Like yes, now I do, yes. But I didn't start out that way. Used to, I just went to any tournament I heard of. You know, any tournament
Mm-hmm.
and I was there. But I realized that, like, if I'm not
Stay
healthy,
healthy.
I don't arm wrestle good at all. So Now I strategically pick out my tournaments. I try to pick the toughest ones that are closest, obviously, or the ones that I really want to go to, and I try to give myself enough time to prepare for it and be healthy and peak at the right time.
So when did you decide Illinois State, this is on my radar, I'm going to start training for this tournament?
About 3 months ago.
3 months? And then do you have a schedule of like, okay, I'm going to, because it's just you and your dad kind of, I guess?
Well, I've had
Hasn't been me.
he's been hurt, so I haven't had. I've had 2 guys that have been coming over a little bit, and they were coming over once a week for probably most of the first 2 months, and one's Justin Douglas and Matt Osborne. But they're both real strong guys. You know what I mean? Justin, he's got a hell of a top roll, and Matt, he's really strong in a hook. And, so I was kind of and they're both a lot bigger than me, too. So, I was getting the best of both worlds, and I was pulling with them guys once a week, and then I was doing my, own stuff on the side. And then I go up to Lebanon and practice with Drew and them every now and again, but I kind of have to stay away from there because I hurt myself if I go up there too much. I can't see a table and not arm wrestle, know. So, and Drew, he's stronger than hell, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I went up there and I got opened up by him a few times, really tore some stuff loose, and I took some time off and had a good practice. And I've took a little bit more time off, and now I feel like I'm ready to go, That's kind of the way I try to do it. The first 2 months is hard pulling, and then it's kind of a real hard practice and recovering.
So you're not pulling hard 2 months out of the tournament?
Mm-hmm.
You're 2 months out when you're pulling hard. You're stopping.
Yeah, I'm stopping about a month early, pulling hard.
1 month before the tournament.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then you'll still pull probably 2 more times.
No, I'll probably pull once
A week. Okay.
One more time.
3 weeks off.
Mm-hmm. Well, I
table.
usually I'll take like a week off and then pull, and then I take 2 weeks off from the table and then arm wrestle the tournament.
2 weeks.
Yep.
Yeah, I feel.
And the only thing I do in them 2 weeks is I've got like a little strap, and I just do pronation and a supination workout and
Lightweight.
yeah,
Just blood.
15 pounds. Yep. I just do a lot of them, and just to get blood flowing and stuff and get everything to heal up and just wait it out.
I've tried a lot of different ways, to the time, and I think the 3 weeks or a month before a tournament is just too long. And I feel like when I get there, I'm not only cold, I don't feel strong, and my stamina's like everything's tight.
Yeah. And see, some people are that way. Like Dad, he's one of those where he could pull right up into the tournament. You know what I mean? I can't. I'm one of those. If I'm not 100% healthy, I'll make an ass out of myself.
Yeah. Yeah, I when I was pulling all the time, I could pull every day. If I was hurt, I was hurt. If I wasn't, I was good to go. I didn't get sore.
Was that, do you think, the competition of what you were pulling in practice or the way people train?
Yeah, I wish I had the guys to practice with there is today. You had to go hunt them down, and you had to go to tournaments. I did tournaments. I found people. I did whatever,
So do you think that kept you from getting hurt? If you would have had all the people to train with now, do you think then you would have had to worry about that?
I don't feel like it would have made a lot of difference.
No.
Because either I was injured or I wasn't. I never get muscle soreness, tendon soreness. I didn't get it.
I feel like the old school guys, though, like the older era arm wrestling, like I feel like all of them are more so. Like I know they went through their fair share of pain as well, but like I think they're just tougher. I mean, you think about it, like they all worked with their hands more than what most people do now. You know what I mean? And I think I think that they had, worked physically harder as that generation physically worked harder coming into it, and I think they were, physically
just built up for it.
Yeah, I think they were physically probably stronger.
There was a lot more labor work back then too, right?
And and once I got into it, I made sure of that.
What are the best jobs that transfer over, right? It's always mechanics and.
I did flat work, concrete.
Concrete work is a big one, right?
That's what I do.
I'm a mechanic.
Every time somebody comes in to practice a new guy and they say they do concrete, it's like,
yeah,
my tits get jacked.
You can feel it. I mean, you can feel it.
Yeah.
Because it's always that. Andrew's got a real good hand right off tops. Just come in. Jared Berlin, they
Could you imagine a masseuse? I mean, for real, think about that.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if that would translate.
That would have to.
You
You have
think?
the strongest
constant
fingers in the world.
Maybe. I haven't had one yet.
Anytime
we had a
I try
gymnast.
to ask my wife, anytime I try to rub her shoulders, I'm done in like 2 seconds. So it's
Right, it
tough,
does.
you know. I mean, like
Does it translate then? Because you're a good arm wrestler. So
I don't know. I would think it would.
that's in how you go. I know Sterling always had a thing with the plate on just his fingers, the 25.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
man, his hands, when you catch it, there is something about that cup strength there.
You know, that's one thing I'll tell you. I've done my little, like, I've got my little pronation and supination workout, and then I work my hand like crazy. But as far as like dumbbells and stuff, like, I don't ever touch them. Like, I don't do anything else.
Engen was
Pull-ups,
coming over and practicing
climbing
with
a
me,
rope.
and he was big on this, chin ups, whatever,
Flat,
here.
flat fingered.
right there.
Mm-hmm. I get it. I see where that would translate
Yeah.
well.
Yeah, he was big on that. Yeah.
I'm actually gonna get a cable machine here before long and put it in my spare bedroom. So I'm hoping I use it. I mean, the more you do, obviously, the better it's gonna be. Surely.
Yeah, I
But
think usually just the straps
You
and the
need to
bands
do
are the
more.
best thing. It's all you
Yeah.
really need.
Yeah.
Because all the handles, they never translate well for
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
I
Exactly.
think it's very beneficial, but I think you need to do some more static stuff. you know.
Yeah. Yeah, like I say, I'm mainly just table time, and then I just do lightweight. Other than that, I don't ever do anything heavy. Nothing over 15 pounds.
Yeah, I'm the same way. If I start doing anything heavy, I feel like I get hurt.
I get sluggish.
I feel like I go in pain.
Yeah,
I don't want to crack, especially if it's coming to anything hand related or wrist. Like, nope, keep it light for me. Cause
When I started working out in the gym is when I started getting hurt, and I started going to the gym instead of table time to keep from being hurt so much. And I did 3 sets of 10 with lighter weight.
say the gym, you would get hurt.
No, if I went to a gym instead of table time,
You would not
I
get hurt.
would not get hurt because I dropped weight, did more reps, and that kept me from getting hurt. You know, there in the later years, shoulder's been done twice, elbow 3 times,
Mhm.
hand. You know,
He was able to kind of just maintain in the gym versus the table time.
I feel like I would do a lot better if I did gym work. Like I just need to be stronger. Like,
Yeah,
I know
sure.
what to do. I just
I
can't
always
do it
get-
half the time
Oh,
because
I
I'm not strong
definitely-
enough.
I definitely think anybody that does a lot of gym work, I think it's great. Like I think a person should do it. But I
It
mean,
takes so much dedication that I
man,
don't
yeah,
have.
I
think.
work.
that's
I
the
work.
whole thing.
I work a full-time job, plus I've got a life other than arm
Mhm.
wrestling, and I've only got time to do my little and passing stuff. You know what I mean? And
Happy wife, happy life, right?
that's right. That's right.
Which I can say that's the reason, but I have a gym right here. Like I really am not doing it
It's-
because if I feel like if I go start to train too, then come practice, I don't want to pull because I'm hurting from the
Mhm.
training.
Yeah.
And I would
that's a
rather
good way
just,
to justify.
and I would
There you
rather
go.
just pull.
I mean, it's one
It's
of
my
those.
There you
excuse
go.
at least, right?
I mean, it's one of those things where it's like, no matter what it all comes down to, if you do it long enough, you're gonna get used to it, and it's only gonna benefit you. You know what I mean? Like, but like I say, I'm in the same boat as you. Like, it's one of those deals where I've never dedicated that part of my life to arm wrestling. You know what I mean? Like in the
What are
gym.
you gonna
real
get
hard.
out of? Yeah, I don't
mean-
know. I guess with you can be the guy, right? But for me, I feel like I don't know. It's fun. It's a
Yeah,
hobby.
I've got a
I feel like
long-
I'm getting better. I
It's
love the sport.
whatever-
I've
it
got
is
a long,
whatever
long,
the
long ways to go
individual-
before I'm the guy, though.
But
That's
you're
for
the
sure.
guy, man.
No
Bullshit.
way, not even close. I got a long ways to go.
You are the number one 138 pounder in the U.S. right now.
I haven't pulled no other 138 pounders though.
That's why.
He said that's why.
But you're number two at 155 to a guy that barely pulls 155. So
Yeah, but he's a bad dude.
he is.
Hope
But
I
I
get to
mean,
grip up
like
with him tomorrow, maybe.
to say that you're not one at 138, then how come that guy's not ranked at 155?
Yeah, I guess you could say that.
I can. I know I can.
Yeah,
'Cause that's the truth.
And like I say, I'm pretty confident at that weight that I mean,
I mean, as long as you're not losing anything, if you pull the same, and that's.
yeah.
That's the thing. At
Have
this
you
weight.
ever pulled at 138? Ever?
Yeah, I mean, like I've. what was I weighing in Minnesota? I mean, I wasn't
140?
above 140.
No.
Guarantee it.
No.
So I mean, I pulled 176 there, and I took second to Cody Vanderweed. But I mean, it was grinders. You know what I mean?
Oh man, and he's a beast.
Yeah, he is.
You
Man,
bet
that
he
dude
is.
is a beast.
You bet he is.
He's tough.
Dylan was kind of whining about it. I said, Dylan, that man right there is better than what you think.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I know how good Cody is. You know what I mean? I just hate losing. You know
Well,
what I mean?
sure.
Like I
but
say, I mean,
he turned around and had that
He's top 10 in the U.S.
tough
Yeah.
match with who right after that?
What was it?
The match that Cody had against somebody that he wasn't supposed to win against. I didn't think. Who was it?
Oh, just
Cody?
recently.
It was after the Minnesota tournament.
Corey Johnson
Johnson,
from
yeah.
Oklahoma.
Yeah.
I
Yeah, no,
mean,
he wasn't supposed to win it, I
yes.
don't think.
And
but
I told Dylan, I said, man, that doesn't surprise me.
no,
Yeah.
he,
I know
I'll tell you
Dylan
what.
is. I know where, you know.
Cody Vanderweed, he's
legit.
up, he's up several levels since
legit.
in a year. I mean, that dude's unreal. He's tough.
Don't overlook him.
Yeah. No, he's definitely
Yeah.
Yeah.
strong. You see the forearms on that guy? Good Lord.
He is jacked. He's huge.
Man. That's something else.
All those
Oh,
guys
yeah.
from KC, they got a good team up there.
They got a great team up
Yeah,
there.
they
All
do.
them psycho guys.
Well, we
Except for
strive
Bo,
to get there.
Bo, he's not very good. But other than
Yeah.
Bo, you know.
Bo who? I don't know.
Yeah.
Southpaw Psycho.
He's my guy.
Yeah, it is.
Bo's a good dude. I love all them guys
Yeah.
up there.
Yeah.
Great
mean,
dudes.
My second tournament was out in KC with Lucas Weaver running it, and it was like my first one was down here. This is that WAL tournament that Stephen Green and Bo ran. That's how I heard about it going up there, and they did one in this play. I mean, there was like 300. I mean, it was big. They had
Yeah.
people printing screen printing T-shirts right there. Big giant hall, and I was like, okay, this could be better.
Yeah.
You know, I think I could run one of these, but
Yeah.
those guys, I mean, they had a big team then. It was always like
Yeah.
See,
I could barely find anybody to pull with around
Yeah.
here. Like they
Yeah.
got like 25 guys.
It started out with Don Fritchie, Scott Fleming, Don Underwood. I mean, those guys, you know, and it's where it's at today, you know.
Woody was down here not too long ago, a couple weeks ago. I didn't hook up, but a couple of the guys did. They went up to Brewski's. He was supposed to come
Yeah.
here. He's got a big match coming up with BJ. I wanted to set that strongest badge 3 and 4, I
Who's
think.
the arm wrestling?
BJ Fakakis,
Don't know him.
Mississippi.
Yeah, you would know him if you've seen him. You
Okay.
would know the face.
Yeah.
He's tough. He's real
Yeah,
tough.
that's going to be a tough match for Don too, just
Yeah.
style-wise.
It's so crazy because the people that are the men now, you know, I got out of it in 2000. You know, I'm just, you know, he started arm wrestling, so, you know, so I run into people that are the best now but
You
were
don't even know who they are.
beginners maybe, but when I got out of it, you know, I mean, and they're legit for sure.
Yeah, and second generation guys, third generation
Or
now, some
third,
of them, right?
yeah.
And that's got to be a plus. I mean, I guess not with you guys. You were saying before, right, that you don't.
Man, I like.
even know about 'em, so-
if I can help anybody, I'll do it. I like seeing these new comers come on.
Yeah.
You know, I really do.
But I mean, there's something to be said about being a second generation puller, right? Like there's some
definitely.
knowledge you get.
Oh
from,
no, definitely 100%. You know, like I say, I did not. One thing that I didn't get that most kids get, you know, growing up with it, you know, is I didn't get to build my stuff up at a younger age. You know, if I would have, you know, if I would have been able to, like Pavlo's son. Like
Pulling
when
that little-
when
yeah.
that kid gets 18 years old,
Already
he's gonna
now.
yeah, I know, but whenever he hits 18 and his body develops a little bit more, look out. Like that kid, he's already developing his tendons and stuff. You know what I mean?
And he's technically sound.
Oh, that kid
man.
he's a great arm wrestler, and
Yeah.
he's just a kid. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I can't wait to see him when he gets older.
Yeah,
But
for sure.
you know, I didn't have that, so like I had to go through all the arm pain and shit at an older age. But it did help a lot being able to go 5 miles down the road to his house and arm wrestle. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like that's where I didn't have no bad habits starting because anything I had learned previously was from him, and it was the right
Kind
way.
of told you, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, whereas I was pulling in 2002 when you got out of it, so I was
Yeah.
pulling around then, but I didn't know they were
Yeah.
actually doing tournaments up the
Yeah.
street
Yeah,
from me.
yeah, you were at the bar learning bad habits
Yeah,
and stuff. See,
come back drunk, broke
yeah.
my arm in 2002, being in a stupid position, and didn't know that I
Didn't
was
know
even
it was
in that
stupid.
position
Yeah.
until 2015.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I
yeah.
continued to pull like that, which
Yeah.
I think is where the side pressure comes from,
Yeah,
because that's all I used, pulling
Yeah.
like crap.
yeah.
And then all of a sudden you realize, oh, that's
Yeah.
why that thing snapped. Okay.
Yeah. Now, like I say, that was one lucky thing I had was I didn't start with any bad habits, and like I say, I've also had access to him, throughout the whole way. So I mean, that's been huge for sure.
So you're pumped in and ready to go. So you're ready to put some damage on these 176ers tomorrow, huh?
I'm hoping to, man. I'm hoping I can pull with those guys.
I mean, you said you don't come in to lose, and you were training for it. So.
I don't come in to lose, and I've been training. That
so
is
you're
correct.
pulling 155 and 176 right-handed.
Yep, and then just 155 left. Yep.
All right. So I think you should just do 176 left.
No, my left ain't there.
He doesn't need to.
No, my left ain't there. My left ain't near what my right is at all. It's so sometimes it can show up and surprise some people, but I never
who's
know
at
when it's
55 that can show there. If hit's not going and Burgett's not going, spine could show up, I guess.
Right or left?
Both.
Oh, well, I mean,
I know you're sleeping on your left, but
yeah, no, I mean,
that's solid, man.
Left-handed, spine's tough. Left-handed, right-handed, I'm pretty confident. At that weight, unless
nobody's beating you at 55 righty, dude.
Well, I mean, there's a chance of it. I'm pulling that 76 class too. What if I get into a war with somebody there and then have to go pull again? I mean, there's a chance of it for sure. But like I say, I'm in
Not a good one. You're taking that title home.
I'm planning on it, but we'll find out tomorrow.
It's the 76 class. I want to see you in anyway.
Yeah,
there's some of those matches I want to see.
Yeah,
that's gonna be fun to sit back and watch.
I'd like to see you against. Have you ever pulled Roman or Corey?
Yes,
in a real match?
I've never pulled Corey before ever, and I've pulled Roman 2 different times. I pulled him in Oklahoma. What year would that have been?
3 years ago, I think.
I don't know. It was at that Oklahoma Pro-Am. I made 43s. I pulled 43.
Okay.
Yeah, I pulled 43 and 54, and I had no clue who he was whenever I got up there to arm wrestling, and I slipped.
Roman?
I slipped. We go to a strap. We get in a strap, and I mean, he just absolutely took my lunch money. You know what I mean? Like, I had nothing for him. And it was so bad. Like, I wasn't even mad at myself. Like, I walked off the stage, and I was smiling, and I told Dad, I was like, I had him until he said go. Like, it was bad. He kicked my ass. And then he done the same thing at Illinois State 2 years ago. He flashed me. I didn't have nothing for him.
Man.
But
he's tough.
He's a super stud. But I'm hoping to have a little bit more for him now. So
I tell you what, though, the side table or being, whether you compete with him or not, to pull with Corey, I think you could get a lot from him. The way he pulls, and like he's so freaking smart on the table, it's ridiculous.
You could have heard my conversation on the way here. I mean, that's what I told you.
And his hand size with yours, because you grab up with Corey, you get him on the table, and you think right away, like, I'll smash this guy.
No, dude, he's a freaking whiz when it comes to arm wrestling.
Yeah, and he's going to tear your arm off.
Yeah.
You don't realize it.
He's not just smart. He's super strong, too. He's got the whole package.
Just don't look it. You look at him, you think, oh, whatever, and then he's got the hands, not that big. It's like you. I grab up with you. I don't necessarily think, oh, I'm screwed.
Yeah.
But I feel like your hand is still like it's not the same. Grabbing Corey's hands, like he just don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Do whatever you want.
Yeah.
Because he's gonna
Well, no, what it is
go somewhere else depending on that.
A lot of what it is too is he's so tricky that he'll get what he wants without you ever knowing that he's got it. You know what I mean? And
he wants you to go so he knows where to go.
That's what I have a lot of like that's what I try to do. You know what I mean? I try to make you happy and have everything I want. You know what I mean? Like
You'll never make me happy.
That's the goal. He said, "You'll never make me happy."
Yeah, he's always like, "I ain't gonna let you load."
I
ain't loading, Dylan.
We watched the film where he made you happy.
Yeah, hey, where's the film where I made you happy? Come on now, where's that?
We don't keep all those. Brad's probably got them all. There's a ton of them out there.
Oh hell!
It was like the only win I got. I'm pretty sure you smashed me like 7 times. Other than that,
I'm pretty sure I saw you beat him again after. Up there after the super match with
side table shit don't count.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, well, I can slow pull with Dylan all day.
Yeah, you're skilled.
We do all right. We go back and forth then.
That's right.
But a tournament's a different story, man. And like, I can't go. It's the way. It's the way you fucking turn me. I can't go. Yeah, I can't engage.
Yeah.
So I just don't go.
Yeah.
Like I'm going, but I never can get engaged. It's like in that match and when we got in the straps that day.
You don't pull very good palm up. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah, it's bicep right then. Yeah, fuck that shit.
I don't know.
I can be palm up if I'm centered, right? If I can still be center of the table to where
Yeah.
I'm
If
side.
your shoulders still
Yeah,
in
but
it,
if I'm on this side, yeah, absolutely not. No,
Yeah.
I'm screwed.
Yeah.
And I don't know how I snapped your wrist there. It was something in that strap. If I get a good strap, I'm okay.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie to you though, at that time, I remember, I'll tell you what, I even told Dad this too. I was like, I was so nervous walking up there for that match because I think that was my second tournament ever because I remember at the first tournament, it was yours, and we got on the after table and you were thumping me. And I remembered that, and I remember we got caught there, and I'm like, well, I'm gonna give her hell, you know what I mean? But you know, you
I was in your head.
yeah, you were a little bit. Like I said,
It kinda
that's
makes
something
sense.
I've grown on now. You know what I mean? Like I was saying earlier, like my head, I feel like my strongest point is my mind now. You know, at that time, it was something I was still growing on.
I remember the after pull, maybe even that tournament or one of those after where you would come back and we, you know,
Yeah.
hey, I want you. I'd want, you know, you
Yeah,
would
oh,
call me
yeah,
out. And
oh,
I
yeah.
think even at Missouri State, you were telling your dad, you got to come here. You got to feel this
Yeah,
guy. And I was
yeah.
like, me? Really? And then he's smashing me. I can't even hold your dad. But it did feel good because it was like somewhere in there you had.
Yeah,
You knew
man,
there was something in there.
I'm a competitive person like
Yeah.
that. And like I say, I mean, at one point, yes, I will say, you know, like I was like, I remember we was arm wrestling. I was like, oh, you know, like damn, that's first match. Like I don't even get a warm up one. Like
Oh,
shit,
yeah.
you know.
That's
But-
like you telling me that Zach Hayden only screams at tough guys. And like it feels good, right? It's a win. Just you being worried.
He said, just you being worried. He said, hey, I don't ever forget a loss from anybody, no matter
Right.
what. If you beat me, you're in my mind forever.
It should be, right? So you get it back.
That's
gotta
right.
get it
That's
back.
right. I don't ever want to let that happen again.
And you're not going to pull tomorrow.
Absolutely not.
No way at
No,
all.
I won't grip up with anybody.
Nope.
No.
Because you're not ready. That's it.
No,
No, he still hasn't even been on the table yet.
I'm a week out from physical therapy.
Yeah.
Yeah, the doctor just released me about almost, it'd be 2 weeks. It hasn't been 2 weeks ago. So, no, I haven't done anything. It's strength training. I've been doing bands a little bit.
Just to keep some motion in.
Yeah.
Well, it's going to be a big year for Dylan then, huh? Can you
I'm
top
hoping so.
2021? I don't know.
No,
You're going to have to.
I'm hoping
Yeah.
so. Hoping
It was
so.
a big 2021 for sure.
That
It
was at
was.
154.
What was that?
That was at 154.
Yeah. Yeah, because there's not really anything else.
Yeah.
That's
I still
one,
need to lock a venue down, and I still like that bounty idea for the rankings with the 138 thing.
I'm in, but I don't think nobody's gonna show up. Man, all these little guys bitch about how they never get no money to show up at nothing and all this. Like that's the whole problem with it. And then whenever the real deal comes to happen, you don't hear nothing from it. I shared it. I mean, like, and nobody was saying nothing. You know, there was very few. I mean, and you know, I hear these guys every tournament I go to. You know what I mean? They're like, oh, I'm this little. I just wish they had a weight class for me. Well, there's one right there. Like, put your money up. Let's go. You know. But
There can't be a ton, but you wonder because I mean the 54 class is getting bigger. There's little guys out there.
I mean, there's some heavy hitter like guys out there, like Michael Hahn. I've never seen him in real life, but I've heard he's a bad dude. You know what I mean? Like, or however you say his last name. But I mean, I've never met him before, but I heard he's a bad dude. I mean, and he's a little guy, but I mean, I don't know how. Obviously, he's not very active in arm wrestling, or I'd have seen him. But.
Mhm. And there's some guys that can make that way. Like Spine could make
Yeah,
38
yeah.
easy.
But
Luna,
like I say, a lot of those guys, you know, they're kind of tapering out of it. You know,
Well,
Spine,
Brad's
he's
been
on
out
to
a while.
he's got 2 kids now. You know, he's got his own life going on. I mean, he can't
Yeah.
travel every weekend to arm wrestle, and I understand that. But at the same time, it sucks for me because I ain't got no little guys to pull with.
Eric Cunningham is a ton lighter.
Yeah,
You
if
know,
he's healthy for
when
sure.
he's healthy. When he's healthy, he's a load.
Oh yeah,
yeah, he's got some side pressure, don't he? Good lord.
good God.
Yeah.
I've never beat Eric in a tournament.
Me neither.
He said, "Me neither." I have not.
That's wild to me. I would think
I
that-
haven't pulled Eric in a long, long time. There's been a lot of like the last couple tournaments I've been in the same tournament as him. He never made it to pull me, and I placed higher than him. But
Yeah. So see that, yeah. See, and I've pulled him too.
The key to Eric
He's
is
one of
when
those-
he's healthy.
Yeah, he's one of those guys you grip up with too, and you think, oh, This guy's gonna. I got this guy.
Yeah, and then there's a wall there.
Yeah, it's like, where does that come from?
Yeah.
Don't go to his power. You're having
Yeah.
a long day.
That
Yeah.
hand though, it feels like there's nothing there.
Oh, yeah, there
we're good.
is.
Yeah, there is.
There is.
Yeah, he's good.
Yeah. Yeah, Eric's very strong.
I pull his dad a lot more than him.
Yeah.
He's been around a minute.
I've only beat him like once out of
Yeah.
24
boy,
times.
You don't
Well,
want a
I
long
mean-
match with him. You know, you don't want a long match with him. He's one of these guys that could pull a long time.
No, I saw him in Sterling in a war up at Brewski's one time, where
Mhm.
Sterling just had him cracked, and he's pulling, and that shitty side flopped open in like 3 minutes. You
Yeah.
know, something.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
thinking, like, and Sterling's still strong
There-
as shit.
There ain't no quitting them Cunningham boys. I promise you that. They're tough dudes. They're tough dudes. I respect the hell out of them.
Yeah, who was that? He had a match with up in Lawson. It was Austin Tevis. Who, you know him?
I've heard of him. I've not actually. I've never.
was impressive.
I've never seen him. No, I've heard that. I've heard that from a lot of
Yeah,
people.
I'd
I've
say
heard that
he was
kid's
like
impressive.
probably a 190 guys
Yeah.
in that range, but
Yeah, no, I've heard he's really, really strong.
yeah, new too,
Yeah.
real in it. But
Yeah.
yeah, I thought the experience kick out in that one, man. That kid was strong.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. Like I say, I've not seen him yet, but I've heard a lot about him.
Well, I've seen Dave around for years, and my advice: if you pull him, get on him quick. You don't want a long match with him. You know, but,
Yeah.
he's got a lot of heart. It's like Bruce Pickett. He's another old
Oh,
dude, you know.
right.
He's always tough, you know.
Yeah, boy, Bruce is tougher than nails too.
Yeah.
How long's he been pulling? Long time too.
I don't know. He's way older than me.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's
I'm
fucking
sure that's
jacked
the
though,
truth.
isn't he,
Oh,
man?
he's old. Yeah.
Yeah, I've never beat Pickett either.
Yeah, I don't know if I've ever I maybe have one win on Bruce left-handed, but he's beat me once too. I've only ever pulled him a couple times.
See, you're
but-
sleeping on your left, and you beat his moneymaker. That's it. That's his
Yeah,
side
but-
too.
But right-handed, I've beat him. I don't think he's ever beat me right-handed. But Bruce is so tough left-handed.
Yeah, I thought I would have a chance with him righty, but still just didn't work. I'm not saying I'm out of that one, but
Oh, you're definitely in that match.
maybe righty.
Yeah,
Not-
you're in
not
that match
left for
right-handed.
sure.
No, left-handed, he's tough.
Yeah, no,
I don't-
my left's not there.
In a strap right now, I don't know if I'd beat him. And if it goes,
That's
if
where
I
you're
don't beat
going.
him off the go.
Yeah, you don't want to be.
No,
yeah,
you're
if it's
getting
not to the
along.
pad.
Yeah, you get in a long match with him left-handed, you're in trouble.
Yeah,
That
just
guy,
ruined your tournament.
Yeah, that guy can go forever. That guy can pull forever.
So then, what's next then after Illinois State for you?
After that, I'm gonna relax until April for the nationals.
April's nationals.
Yep.
So you kind of start training. You got a camp
Yep.
basically in time
Yep.
for that.
I'll be ready for that one, and I'll have my weight on, which my weight's pretty much already there right now. So I wanted to get low and walk at this weight for a while. That way, I knew I wasn't gonna make myself weaker. You know what I mean? I don't want to. If I'm weak at this weight, I'll go up. You know what I mean? Like I don't. It's not about that. I just want to be at my natural competing weight
Right.
and strong.
And that's pretty cool. It's in Kansas City, right?
That
So
is.
you don't
That's
even have to
great.
go anything.
I ain't got to go very far.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's pretty sweet.
I'm super
I
excited about
think
that.
93 nationals. I think 93 nationals were in Kansas City,
Yeah.
and I believe it was set down. I won it and then blew my elbow out. Didn't go to Worlds.
You won it and blew your elbow out?
I blew my elbow out training for it,
Oh.
and it was. I mean, like 2 days before I was supposed to fly out to Edmonton, they had to cut it open. So
Wow.
had my plane tickets and everything. I would have won it again, and I'm not cocky, but I would have won it that year. I was stronger than I've ever been. Yeah. But I didn't, so take it what it's worth, you know. But
I might be live streaming that. Maybe.
Hell yeah.
Luke mentioned it, I know, during the World, so
That'd be awesome. That'd be awesome.
it could be good.
Yeah.
It's a good place to hold it. I mean, they should get a good turnout.
Yeah,
Just with
yeah.
the people in Kansas City alone.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, but I mean, really, you think about it, it's good for everybody. It's right in the center of the country.
Yeah, you would think they
I
would
would-
put more in these areas, I would think. But,
Yeah.
you'd think.
I mean, St. Louis is so easy to get to from
I know.
anywhere.
Yeah. Which,
Yeah.
I mean, if you think about it, there is a lot of tournaments here in St. Louis.
Yeah.
I mean, all the
Well,
Bruce
now,
tournaments
yeah,
and
yeah.
stuff, and that's great. And like I say, you've helped the sport out around here so much. I
Hell,
mean,
Russ is putting on, 4 or 5 of them now at
Mhm.
Brewski's every year.
Yeah.
You know, I think
yeah.
all I did was promote more than anything. Was I
Yeah.
put it out there that, hey, these are going on. Russ has
Yeah.
been doing tournaments since
Yeah.
2001.
Yeah.
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 But I didn't hear about it until WAL was pushing it.
Yeah.
And then when I got out there, I ran into Matt Ellis, and then,
Mhm.
oh, there's a team out here.
Yeah.
You know, it's like,
Yeah.
oh, this is going on. You've been holding these for how many years? Like,
How long's this been going on?
Right,
Like
Yeah.
going out and practicing at Brewski's around 2001.
yeah, see, that's crazy.
Yeah.
I would have definitely been there.
Yeah.
And then what? If I could have been in it at 19?
Yeah. Exactly. Exactly.
Learning correctly instead of
Yes.
just pulling at parties for,
Mhm.
you know, lunch
Yeah.
money.
Exactly.
I
Yeah.
thought about that. But yeah, I came up to some practices.
Yeah, that would have been nuts. But back then, I mean, how do you hear about that shit? There's no
Well,
internet. It's not
yeah,
like you jump on and hear
Back
it.
then, it was word of mouth. I
Yeah.
mean, it was tough.
That's one thing that sucks so bad too. Is like I feel like arm wrestling. Like I mean, pools on TV. You know, cornholes on TV. Why's arm
Right.
wrestling not there? You know what I
I
mean?
saw,
Like,
I was at a Hooters one time, and on ESPN, they were playing dodgeball with jugglers. No bullshit. There was a guy, this is ESPN 2, but they were juggling bowling pins with people playing dodgeball in front of them where they had to hit the guy with the bowling pins.
oh my gosh. And arm wrestling can't get on TV.
Right?
That is
How does that
crazy.
even, how does that count?
That is crazy.
I was like, I couldn't even believe I was looking at that. Like, this is,
Yeah,
they have like tag.
That's crazy.
They have like real tag. I saw. Well,
They're
on
like
ES
real tag on
tag,
ESPN.
like professional like tag. They got
No,
these courses. and-
I would be terrible at that. I'm super
right?
slow.
No, yeah, and I'd crack my head. I'm
Oh.
clumsy as shit too.
The only way I'm not a clumsy person, but like I'm fast in like a 3-yard sprint. You know what I mean?
See,
Like,
I bet you would be quick. Yeah,
no,
I'd be like,
no,
"Oh, this would be
I'm,
quick."
I'm the way I'm built. I'm supposed to be fast, but I'm not a fast
Yeah.
runner at
I'm
all.
gonna blow my knee out on one of them courses. I'm like,
And
I got
long
no
dis-
ups. I can't
long-
jump.
I can't run long distance at all either. Can't jump. Nothing like that.
As a kid, I used to be a decent runner.
Really?
Yeah, I ran it was like a 550 one time, maybe my best.
Yeah.
I did a 510 indoor, but I think I was cheating the corners.
Yeah. No. See, I'm like maybe broke high sixes.
That's
And I'm
still
out.
pretty good. You gotta
No,
think
that,
about it.
I mean, no, I should.
Not as good as you should have been. Yeah, you should have been
I mean,
a
with
5-minute guy for sure.
With my body type, I should have been a lot faster.
Yeah,
Yeah.
with the endurance too, you would think like the wrestling would give you some wind.
Yeah, no, it was terrible, and I mean, I really tried to get that. Like, it was a bad deal.
You just never did cardio.
No, I mean, I.
That's why you like arm wrestling.
I worked it just as much as everything, I guess, but I just never had the.
I don't know many people that do cardio in arm wrestling. You know?
I don't know.
I'll tell you what, a little bit of cardio doesn't hurt.
Probably doesn't at all. But it's like leg day. Probably doesn't hurt either, but nobody does it.
I don't do like that. Never did. I didn't want to gain weight, so I didn't.
It's
work
more of a
legs.
weight thing, right? The only reason I would even consider it is people say it boosts the testosterone.
I have heard that.
But then I start to do it. I'm like, I don't want to do this
Bike.
shit.
Huh?
I need a bike.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you wouldn't do very good with squats, Dad.
We need to call it.
We need to call it, he
Yeah.
says.
All right. Well, I appreciate you guys coming down.
Hey, thank you
Hey,
for having
thank
us,
Yep.
Bill.
I'll
Thank
be
you
out
for
there
having us, Bill.
tomorrow. We're going to kick it
I need
again.
a copy of that video, though.
Yeah, for sure. We'll get it out everywhere.
All right.
Heck,
I'm
yeah.
never going to lose it. So. But I really do appreciate you guys. Two of my favorite people in the sport.
Bill, we
problem.
appreciate you
Anytime.
having us.
Yep.
Yep.
Thanks again.
Yep.
But thank you.
Thank you, Bill.
Yep.